Welcome back to Good Day Big Bear.
Welcome back.
This is my business partner, Dan Bathurst, and Dan is actually president-elect
Yes.
for the local board of Realtors. I said it right that time.
You did. Good
Yeah,
job.
I did it right.
Tours.
And Dan's not really here. This is a figment of your imagination. You are on one of several meetings that the board members go to and the legislature members go to make sure that what our lawmakers are doing isn't stepping all over the little people.
Basically, what I think that I'm trying to do for this coming year and into my presidency, try that
Easy for
twice,
you to
three
say.
times in a row, is that I really want to make the public more aware of what we actually do as a board and what we do to protect the public in their purchases and their sales. It's gotten so broad and so complicated that there's a lot of agents that don't really stay on top of it, and that's unfortunate. And so this year I think we're going to really try to follow the process that we go to for, especially for Legislative Week, that we go to Sacramento. This is the times when we see bills, Senate bills, Assembly bills, things that are being pushed in kind of under the wire, if you will, that are causing problems for sales, problems for agents, squatters' rights, and things like that that were a big barrier for us last year. We overcome a lot of these things. We spend actually throughout the year, we'll have 3 CAR meetings that things are brought to the table, which is kind of why I'm having this little interview right now, is that this for this next week I will be in Indian Wells with CAR. We will be attending several different events. We are actually selected as reps for our district, which is District 15, Region 15. We bring the things to the table that are concerning, such as water situations in towns that are causing problems for sales, things that people are not accustomed to dealing with. One of the big things last year was the termite report. And people have always thought for the last 12 years that that was law, that was something we had to do.
Never was.
And it never was. And it was just formulated into that by word of mouth, by this is a process that everybody wants, but rather than say no, everybody just went along with it. Well, now that became such a big issue that it made a seller feel like they were writing a blank check to the...
And they were. They were signing
the
before
deal.
they were pay for something before they knew what it was.
They were agreeing to do a Section 1 when they didn't even know what a Section 1 was going to amount to. So the report is, it's a great thing to have. It's something, it's a tool to use, but now this is considered in the section of repairs, requests for repairs. And it's been downgraded, it's been taken out of the library because it just created such a problem. If you sell a $500,000 home on the beach and it's got so much dry rot that Section 1 is going to cost you $200,000, what's the point? And that's something that should always be negotiated. So that's just one of the battles that was fought and changed.
And not only for Realtors, but for the public. A couple of big things you breezed right over this squatter thing. Last year, squatters had more rights than property owners.
Exactly.
You had an empty house and somebody was squatting, and you could not get them out.
No, because it was not a law.
It wasn't a law that they had to
Exactly. So you had to go through the whole process of evicting them.
Yep.
Like a renter.
And the other thing that has been an ongoing battle now for several years, I wanted to say 10 years, was every year, California and the federal laws come up with a bill to eliminate tax write-offs
right.
for homeowners,
Yeah.
primary homeowners, secondary homeowners. The interest, you cannot write it off. And that has been, and there's not a lot of consumer groups fighting that except for CAR, California Association of Realtors, and NAR, National Association of Realtors.
Exactly.
And that comes from grassroots boards just like ours.
And the other things are disclosures. Things that you want to sell your home on the market. You don't want to use an agent. And yet you have no idea what the laws are, and it's no longer a transaction like you're going to just meet somebody in your house, you're going to swap your money,
yours,
shake hands and walk away. That's not the way it works anymore, and it's so amazing that people think that it's that simple. without ever looking into it. I mean, it's one thing to say, I don't want to use an agent, and I blah, 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 you know, and they go through that. But if you could see, I mean, just in, I don't have it with me, but just in the bills that are coming up and all the things that we're going to be fighting for to protect your rights as the public, we're looking at probably another 30 bills that are going to hit the table in June, July, somewhere in that range. It changes because they've gotten used to us coming down to Sacramento. So a couple of years ago, they take their break right when we show up. So now we kind of tricked them last year, and we came a month early, and it kind of shocked them all. So, but you're talking about 2,000, 2,500 agents going to Sacramento and spending the time, and this is all volunteer, but we spend the time fighting for what we think is right for the public, and to defend the seller, to defend the buyer, and these things are written into law, but we fight for what is right for you. And the problem that we see, and why I go back every year, I've done it for 5 years now, is the fact that bills that don't pass, you find a year later they're stuffed into a bill that they're pretty sure is going to go through, and it's the tail end of it, and it's kind of that whole pork thing that people talk about. So if it didn't pass here, they're going to shove it in. So that's what it's so important about us going.
Somebody has to pay attention.
Got to pay attention. And I tell you, I didn't realize the value of it until I started doing it. Now I actually love it. I enjoy it so much, but I think it's so important and to educate everybody in this. But people need to understand, you always hear the little dig about, they don't do anything for their money.
Right,
why do I pay an agent all that money? Well, that agent does a lot, and part of it is that money that we make, we put back into the system. We put it in there and pay for these things that come up to the surface so that we can fight for what's right for the public. And it's a big deal. So what I'm going to try to do is go this week, and then maybe on our next show or after that, after everything gets broken down, because we go to caucus the whole time we're there. Caucus meaning we meet with our whole region, and everybody puts their opinion into what they heard. We debate it all. We come up with a plan, and we fight for it all year long. And it'll happen now. It'll happen again in June, and it'll happen again in October. And the end of the year, we vote on everything. What we feel is right for the public, what we feel is right for agents. It's just risk management, pro standards, land use and environmental impact. All these things are something that we deal with on a regular basis. So, I just want to be able to bring that back to everybody and start early in the year and kind of get them an idea of what's going to take place all year and how hard we do fight for them.
Outstanding. Well, the local board gets input from local realtors.
Yes.
On issues that come up, and that goes to our committee people.
Yes.
And then you guys go to the division.
Yes.
And then division passes it on to.
Well, it becomes. Believe
Because
it or
I know
not,
we have lobbyists
the
that are
state
in
of
legislature
California,
every single day.
CAR, the California Association of Realtors, is actually sets precedents for just about everything that happens on the national level.
Everybody looks to California to lead.
And exactly. And so we usually step out first. And then if it works in California, then it'll be spread throughout. But we actually have 2 NAR events, which is National Association of Realtors. So what we learn and fight for in the beginning here, this is a CAR event that I'll go to, we will come up with a footprint, for a lack of better, of how we are going to fight for the year. And then what we believe in, we present to NAR.
Right.
So we actually
association.
go from CAR, California Association, to NAR and present our opinions to our peers there, and just kind of come to an understanding throughout the year as to what kind of bills we're going to support, what kind of laws that we think are good for California plus good for NAR. So Tim Brigham is our rep for NAR. He's done a phenomenal job in the past, and he stays very much on top of it. So he is our representative, our voice, if you will, for NAR through our region. So it's a long process. It's a big process.
It's never ending.
Never ending. Exactly.
It's
Because
never
it'll
ending.
happen now.
Yes.
We will fight hard this year, and the things that kind of we either put on a stay situation. They will hold them over for another time. But we have to always have eyes on that. So a good example is kind of our $150 that we do for the cost of business. That is something that every agent really should contribute to, because that's what supports the people to go and fight for the laws and the rules and the organizations that we feel are important.
Like I said, we actually have, we as the California Association of Realtors, which filters down through all these boards, have lobbyists at the legislature all the time, both national and federal, keeping, and it comes back the other way.
Exactly.
So we find out where that little paragraph in that's tucked into that safe playground equipment bill that is going to eliminate property tax write-offs and things. I mean, the legislature seems to be sneaky about how they do some of these things.
There's attorney general bills. There's there are Senate bills. There are assembly bills, and those, especially the attorney general bills, is something new in the last couple of years. And what that is that's a test ground. Okay, but so they put an attorney general bill out there, and then they get all the negative input on it, and so the things they know are going to be a problem, they will pull that bill, so it'll never go to Senate or Assembly, and they'll tuck it in behind another bill that they know is going to go through, or let's just say, for instance, back when we were trying to get the tax credits for California, okay, in order to get those tax credits for California, we also had to pass another part of that was going to be kind of not to anybody's advantage. They were just tagging it on, so it didn't happen, and we went a year without that, and it finally came around, but oh my gosh, it took the whole year to get it passed, because this portion that they were adding onto it, we had already shot that down a year before, so we had to pull that off. So it is an amazing event. It is something that people should be aware of. Realtors fight very, very hard for what is right for the individuals. And I think we need to get more credit for that. So that's why I want to present this.
Again, part of our pledge is to protect the individual property rights of citizens. So if you are a Realtor, get involved with your legislative committee. Make sure you pass along anything in. If you're a consumer, feel free to talk to a Realtor about what's going on with the laws and things, because we got to keep up with it. Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. We'll see you when you get back.
Thanks,
I'm acting like he's gone for a long time here. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
There are things in life that cause us to hesitate. But once we do them, we're overjoyed that we did. Markets are changing and interest rates are still low. If you're thinking about getting into the real estate market, now may be the time to make your move. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today and visit Realtor.com.